Welcome back to my channel, Dinar and Dong Updates. Major updates on the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong. What you need to know. Today, we're diving deep into important developments regarding the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong, two currencies that have captured significant attention from investors, economists, and everyday citizens alike. From special contract rates tied to humanitarian projects to the Central Bank of Iraq's new initiatives aimed at modernizing the financial system, there's a lot happening right now. Let's get started. Bruce's latest intel, humanitarian projects and the contract rate renowned intel source. Bruce, speaking through Wiser Now, has recently provided new information regarding the special contract rates available for the Iraqi dinar. According to Bruce, individuals who have carefully prepared humanitarian projects could qualify for a higher exchange rate when redeeming their dinar. These humanitarian projects can have a broad focus, ranging from helping rebuild communities within the United States to supporting recovery efforts overseas in regions affected by conflict or disaster. The critical point Bruce emphasized is preparation. Individuals must have a clearly typed, printed outline of their project ideas, ready to present at their appointment at the Redemption Center. Bruce stressed that it doesn't have to be a complex business plan. A simple but clear overview of the project's purpose and goals will suffice. Presenting this documentation demonstrates a genuine commitment to using the financial gains to contribute meaningfully to society, which is a key qualification for receiving the contract rate. Another important detail Bruce shared is that the availability of the contract rate is closely tied to the global oil market, particularly the price per barrel of Iraqi oil. Right now, oil is trading in the low $80 range per barrel, which Bruce describes as an ideal scenario for those participating in the exchange. While prices may fluctuate slightly, the key factor remains the same. Having a humanitarian project plan is essential for qualifying for the better rates. Bruce's overall message is clear. Be organized, be genuine, and come prepared to your appointment to maximize the opportunity in front of you. Iraq's push toward digital finance. A major step forward. Moving on to broader financial developments, in the first quarter of 2025, the Central Bank of Iraq, CBI, rolled out a major innovation in the country's banking sector. The CBI announced the launch of a new service that allows individuals to transfer money directly between debit cards. This initiative is part of the CBI's broader goal to modernize Iraq's financial system and encourage the use of electronic payment methods. The central bank confirmed that a single transfer between debit cards can now be up to 400,000 Iraqi dinars, roughly equivalent to a few hundred US. In addition, the maximum total transfer amount per month is set at 2 million dinars. This move marks a critical step toward reducing Iraq's reliance on cash transactions and bringing the country's banking practices more in line with global standards. By enabling easier, faster, and safer electronic transfers, the CBI hopes to foster greater public trust in the financial system. However, despite these positive developments, a massive hurdle remains. Why Iraqis still prefer to keep cash at home. An astonishing statistic highlights the challenge the central bank faces. Approximately 90 trillion Iraqi dinars are currently sitting outside the banking system, stashed away in private homes rather than circulating in financial institutions. Why is this happening? The root of the issue lies in a deep-seated lack of trust. Decades of economic instability, conflict, and financial mismanagement have left many Iraqis deeply skeptical of banks. Instead of risking their savings in what they perceive as unreliable institutions, people prefer to keep their money close, literally under their mattresses in many cases. This widespread hoarding of cash has serious implications for Iraq's economy. Without deposits, banks struggle to lend money to businesses and consumers, which limits economic growth. It also hampers the government's ability to control monetary policy and stabilize the economy. The central bank's plan. Retrieving high-denomination notes. In response, the CBI has announced a strategy aimed at retrieving the high-denomination notes that were introduced during periods of hyperinflation. The logic is straightforward. By pulling these large notes out of circulation and replacing them with new, smaller denominations, the bank can encourage more people to deposit their money, stabilize the currency, and possibly introduce a stronger new exchange rate. Introducing lower denomination notes sends a psychological message that the era of hyperinflation is over and a more stable, trustworthy monetary system is in place. Other countries, such as Yemen, have tried similar approaches, although their success has been mixed depending on how well the public accepted the new currency system. The key ingredient for success in Iraq will be public trust. If Iraqis believe that the new notes are a sign of true economic recovery and that their money will be safe in banks, they may be more willing to participate in the formal financial system. What a new exchange rate could mean for the dinar. One of the most exciting possibilities stemming from these reforms is the potential for a new, stronger exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar. Imagine, for instance, that you currently hold a 10,000 dinar note worth a few dollars. If the currency strengthens significantly, that same note could be worth much more, dramatically increasing your purchasing power. However, it's essential to understand that currency revaluation isn't a magic bullet. Even if the exchange rate improves, if inflation rises at the same time, the real-world benefits could be minimal. For example, if goods and services become more expensive, the extra value of your dinar may simply be offset by higher prices. Therefore, real prosperity hinges not only on a stronger currency, but also on controlling inflation and fostering overall economic growth. Challenges ahead: inflation, wages, and local industries. A stronger dinar will also have ripple effects across Iraq's economy. Imported goods could become cheaper, which might sound great for consumers but could spell trouble for local industries. If foreign products flood the market at lower prices, Iraqi farmers, artisans, and manufacturers might find it harder to compete. This could lead to job losses in sectors critical to the country's domestic economy. Another concern is wages. If the dinar's value increases but salaries remain stagnant, everyday citizens might not feel any wealthier. Many Iraqis already deal with low, stagnant wages that barely keep up with living costs. Without corresponding salary adjustments, the benefits of a stronger dinar will not be fully realized by the population. Government policies will play a crucial role in managing these dynamics. Strategic economic planning will be needed to protect local industries, encourage wage growth, and keep inflation in check while strengthening the dinar. Rebuilding trust. The emotional side of economic reform. Beyond the technical aspects of currency reform and banking modernization, there is a powerful emotional component to Iraq's financial transformation. Years of hardship have conditioned many Iraqis to expect disappointment. Even today, while there is hope that the economy is turning a corner, that hope is often tempered by skepticism. For the CBI and the Iraqi government, rebuilding public trust is perhaps the hardest and most essential task ahead. Clear, honest communication about new policies, economic goals, and how reforms will benefit citizens is vital. The involvement of community leaders, trusted media outlets, and financial experts will also be necessary to spread accurate information and counteract fear or misinformation. What citizens can do to help everyday Iraqis have a role to play in the nation's economic recovery. Staying informed about financial reforms, using banks for their savings, and encouraging friends and family members to do the same can collectively make a big difference. Participating in conversations about the country's economic future helps to foster a sense of shared responsibility and community ownership over the changes happening. By supporting new policies and helping to rebuild trust in the financial system, citizens can contribute directly to Iraq's journey toward greater economic stability and prosperity. Looking ahead, a cautious optimism. The road ahead is uncertain, but filled with possibilities. If the Central Bank of Iraq can succeed in its efforts to retrieve old currency notes, introduce lower denominations, stabilize the dinar, and modernize the banking system, Iraq could see a period of remarkable economic growth. However, these changes won't happen overnight. They require careful planning, effective execution, public trust, and above all, patience. Those who stay informed, prepared, and engaged will be best positioned to benefit from the upcoming transformations. Final thoughts. To summarize, the situation with the Iraqi dinar is complex, but holds significant potential. Intel shared by experts like Bruce highlights unique opportunities, particularly for those prepared with humanitarian projects aiming to make a positive impact. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Iraq is working on ambitious initiatives to modernize the financial system, encourage digital transactions, and reform the currency structure. These efforts aim not just to stabilize the dinar, but to build a stronger, more resilient Iraqi economy. Success will require more than just economic reforms. It will demand emotional healing. Restored Pablo.